Servants of Allah, history has not witnessed men whose resolve was strengthened by Allah and whose intentions were pure and true to Allah for the matters of Iman and reform, to which indeed they have sacrificed their wealth and their lives, like the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For indeed they have set examples when it comes to the love, sacrifice, and ibadah, and their zuhd and listening and obeying to Allah and to His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Among them is a great man. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given him indeed the name of a Siddiq. He is a man of a great esteem and high status, whose name is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the first successor to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the first man to believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the first man to be mentioned to be among the 10 promised Jannah, and to be among those entirely promised Jannah from the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Narrated Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma, who said, we used to compare the people as to who was better during the lifetime of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we used to regard Abu Bakr as the best, then Umar, then Uthman, may Allah be pleased with all of them. He was the bravest of the companions ever. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu said, while he was the commander of the believer, standing on the member of Al-Kufa, O people, tell me who's the bravest among the people. They said, you, commander of the believer. He said, as for me, I've never confronted anyone without getting justice from him. But tell me who's the bravest among the people. They said, we do not know. Tell us who. He said, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. On the day of Badr, we made a shelter, a pergola if you want to call it, for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we said, who will be with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that no one of the mushrikeen will get to him. And by Allah, no one approached us, except Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, spreading out his sword over the head of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, protecting him. And no one from the mushrikeen fell near the Messenger of Allah, except Abu Bakr as-Siddiq would attack him. And this is the bravest of the people. Then Ali ibn Abi Talib further said, and I saw the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Mecca, and the people of Quraysh took a hold of him, and they indeed would take him, and they would twist him, beat him, grab him, and choke him, saying, you are the one who made the gods into one God. And Ali ibn Abi Talib said, by Allah, and no one of us was able to get to him except Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, hitting this man, attacking the other, pulling that away and pushing the other away from the Messenger of Allah, while saying, woe to you, you're killing a man just because he's saying my Lord is Allah. Then Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu lifted his cloak that he was wearing and wept until his beard was soaked. Then he said, I ask you by Allah, is the believer of the Pharaoh's family better, or is he? And the people remained silent. And Ali ibn Abi Talib said, by Allah, an hour of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is better than an earth full of the man who believed among the people of Fir'aun, or the family of Fir'aun. That is a man who concealed his faith, his Iman. And Abu Bakr is a man who declared his Iman. With all that, he Radi Allah anhu, used to be very afraid to delve into the deen of Allah without knowledge, with all that status that no one will ever reach after the Prophet and the Messenger. He'll be too afraid to utter something about Allah without any previous knowledge. He used to say, what earth will sustain me, and what sky will shade me, if I say about Allah what I do not know? Servants of Allah, the companions of the Messenger of Allah, all of them have a great value and a high rank. Their honor is preserved, and their century and generation is raised. The love is obligatory, and it's an act of Iman. And hatred against them is an act of disbelief and transgression. They are the balance of Islam. Sa'id ibn Zayd, one of the 10 promised Jannah, may Allah be pleased with them all, he said, by Allah, the sight of a man among them, the companions of Rasulullah, with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with his face covered in dust, is better than the work of one of you, even if he were to live as long as Nuh alayhi salam lived for. However, disputes in regards of the status of the companions of Rasulullah, disliking them makes the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam his opponent. Al-Rabi' as-Sunan of al-Shafi'i, the Imam, he said, Imam al-Shafi'i told me, O Rabi', take this from me. Do not engage in the companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Meaning, do not decrease their status or speak against them in the least. For your opponent will be Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam if you do so tomorrow. Meaning on the day of resurrection. So be aware, O Muslims, of making your opponent one of the companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, speaking ill against them, or decreasing their status, or attacking them, or belittling their case, let alone speaking ill against Aisha or any of the wives of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. For the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, whoever curses or speaks ill against my companions, upon him is a curse of Allah, the curse of the angels, and the curse of all mankind.